Salute, squad. Welcome to another episode of Fly High Productions with Mr. Follower. Hey, so check this out. I sadly come to you tonight, this morning, this evening, or whatever time zone you're on. My city is in distress. I'm gonna say it one more time. The city of St. Louis is in distress. We need FEMA. We need boots on the ground. We need a helping hand. And as a man, that take a lot to say. But for my people, not even for myself, as I weathered the storm, and other than Wi-Fi going out, I was blessed enough to keep my power, keep a roof over my head, keep the bricks surrounding me and my walls. I know y'all say, well, what you talking about? Let's follow up. As I said, the city is in distress, and right now, we need FEMA. We need help any way we can. Like people lost their homes, their lives was uprooted right along with the trees and their homes. Some lost their lives. I think our casualty is up to like 7 last I heard, maybe more. And they haven't even cleaned up all the debris yet, so we won't know. I mean, we yet to know, should I say. Well, give me a second here, y'all. My battery is on low. Meanwhile, while we do
this. Safe place, you're limited, right? So your safe place is inside. Maybe that's the interior hallway or from the spring. Big place is going to be inside interior hallway. If you were in one of these high-rise buildings at the Central West End. Now, if it's one of those new construction that's more of the stick construction made of wood, then you want to get to lower levels. But in any case, you're putting as many the outside as possible as these storms roll through. Again, tornado warning, the circulation now moving into the Maplewood, Richmond Heights, and Clayton area, moving into Forest Park, moving towards BJC. It will be moving into downtown here in the next few minutes. It'll be the factory, not the factory, that's out in Chesterfield. They had the hail. Jimmy, the foundry. So it'll be moving into the foundry.
Yes,
here.
the foundry, and there's a lot going on here. Tornado warning continues in effect until 3 p.m. And that is again for Iron and Reynolds County. They're going to continue that one also.
Yeah, they had quarter-size hail, the QT up on Dorset, which totally makes sense.
And they're seeing lowering around to the west of BJC.
Yeah, we've got that right here. That's what this is this area. Of course, BJC is right here. These are the clouds we're watching. In fact, get you a shot of that. The Central West End, you need to be in yours right now if you're in the Central West. And that's...
Well, that looks like a tornado kind of coming this way, doesn't it?
Right now, I'm trying to see to actually one. And And is that correct? Because, yeah, we can see absolutely nothing at this point. That is looking from 100 above the pond. And I'm trying to take the camera down if you can see the roof. But there's leaves going through. So
that's what it looked like to me, but
this is right the area
let me say this though.
Where it is coming in right. Okay, so we
all jokes
but you
aside,
see stuff flying by. So picking up, we know
Wow.
things up.
like I appreciate the people that stood in there for the footage,
Blue showing up around this area here.
but I don't think it was worth it.
Okay, so yeah, that probably is the least.
My man heard need to be packing up.
Kind of get the sense of
If you look right here, it looks like in the center it's trying to form right over his head.
coming through right there.
Oh, wow. I know this is dumb.
Yeah, real dumb.
With rain, it's a wall of water.
But thanks.
Sometimes with the wind with rain as it's coming through. So I want to see if we can get a quick shot of City Park here. The tornado for the city of St. Louis right now, this is moving in. Look at the winds gusting here. This is looking obviously here over towards the wheel and over towards Union Station and the soccer fields. Traffic heading eastbound very slow, but we're already seeing some things like weeds flying by, which is very common to see when you're dealing with these kinds of storms moving through.
Holy cow.
It's occurred at like 2 p.m.
This is the storm here in the metro area. You see hail.
Got pitch black at my job.
Now it's a confirmed tornado.
It was 2 a.m.
There's the debris ball right over BJC. So it went just north of BJC.
Condolences to those who lost their lives.
We've been saying, in your safe place.
Like I say,
Lowest spot you can get to. So you got a debris ball here.
The city is in distress. I'm praying for the city.
With it, you're in
Feel
North
the loved
St.
ones.
Louis City. You need to be in your safe place.
Fortunately, you know,
Don't get out on the road on
they still
70.
hurt.
This is going towards the east.
Some of them lost their,
towards
prized
two
possessions.
and circulation. Let's
along
just
with
look
the
at
roof
the
over their
wind
head.
field out of here again. Again, tightening up here as it's moving through the city.
Sad to see.
I don't need to see how
This
many getting live
neighborhood
cameras.
sleeping outside.
Here's the circulation coming in. Okay, your attention. Lean right now is going across.
It's just on the other side of the highway.
Route 3. There's 2 of 3. You're in the path of this storm in Fairmont City State Park
So I
Place.
think I'm okay.
In your safe place. This is now a confirmed,
You all right?
observed tornado
You
from
can't
the National
reply.
Weather Service. Observed tornado from the National Weather Service. We're going to pop this back up. That debris
Seriously though,
out of this. So right now,
They should be
around
taking
Hustle,
cover.
looks like you're getting the hail there. You're getting the hail here along 270 towards Washington.
Never witnessed
Elizabeth,
nothing like this
east,
here in the city.
367. So you have a combination
None of my
things going on
53
here
years.
between this circulation, which is really
not
tight
in the
down.
inner city. Maybe on the
And so the
outskirts.
debris to the air here off of this.
Some of the surrounding counties. Trying to see what this look like. Thing is that some on his screen flickering? Gotta
It's crazy when I'm looking out the window. I can't
debris.
see what this camera sees. It's like a greenish kind of wall, but the
We're
camera.
talking about Old North. We're talking about St. Louis Place. There's the Ames Visual Arts Elementary School in this area. The near North Riverfront, Hyde Park neighborhood. You need to be in your safe place right now.
Yeah, it's north.
The Jeff Vanderloop neighborhood. The Dome at America's Center in the path of this, coming right for downtown. And I stay just north of downtown St. Louis, but we can't guarantee that for sure. So for those of our staff that are working on the upper floors, if you all would move to our lower, safer places. Here's the dropout we're seeing. There's the dropouts that we're seeing up to the north. So let's put on a track here. That's the city. Here's this. It's where the rotation is going right now.
Wow. There's rivals on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, even my house is right where that tornado is.
Yeah,
So
Venice,
it's
Granite
interstate
City,
line.
Fairmont City, Collinsville, Maryville.
It's supposed to be touching down somewhere.
Yeah, that's what we just said. North City, you need to be in your shelter right now, especially in the old north area of St. Louis City. So this is a pretty intense situation. Kay, what do you have?
Saying they have not heard tornado sirens go off.
That's
or
true.
have not gotten any kind of warning on their phone.
Well, we did get our warning.
did get one.
I got the warning on my phone, but I did not hear the sirens. They did a lot of siren testings recently.
In this area, coming right down Washington,
I work around the
and right
federal
down
bit.
Middle and Olive, and it's headed for the dome, crossing the river, moving towards Venice and National
And
City.
damage in North City. That area.
Okay, so we have damage.
You heard the sirens first.
Continue. Columbus Spring, we probably already have it. This is taking the Stanton Mutual Bridge across the river.
It just announced on the news the day before all this occurred. See the arch in the background over there.
This is where we think the tornado
Left of your screen.
is, where the circulation is.
They actually put weather
They
service
just
very
announced on the
likely
news.
significant damage in North St. Louis City.
Maybe a day before all this occurred.
Especially along the north of Ridgeville at this
Give it 2 days, a day or two.
we can see here.
That
We're looking at this. You know, you got your
They be
circulation
testing
here. That's pretty tight
the sirens.
circulation. It has come through.
Matter of fact, that was that Friday, I believe it
moving
was.
through the northern part of the city. That's the
Maybe
Rock Road right
Thursday, I don't
there.
know.
Here's South
Anyway.
North Broadway. So it's moving into North City.
They suppose they had been
Hyde Park
testing the
neighborhood,
sirens,
Old York, moving across the
which
river into
was supposed to
Venice,
go on
and
for maybe a 4-hour span.
in downtown St. Louis right now.
Off and
As we
on,
continue
you know.
to see that. So that morning, we observed
But I don't even think I recall
the dew stretching up.
hearing them test the
Granite
sirens.
City's in the morning. The morning also up to Edwardsville and Glen Carpet. This is where the focus is going to be. Probably stay south of Glen Carpet, but in this
Ready for
area right
conspiracy
now,
theories
it's
now?
working its way just across the river. So tracking this at 55
Got me
miles per
wondering.
hour, we're going to track this east, north,
I did
east.
want to
These
hear a
are
siren.
the places that we're concerned about right now. Where you can be intercepted.
Everybody don't have a
Okay,
cell
not only
phone.
we've transitioned now from a hail threat to where we have a pretty tight rotation, and believe we have some significant damage. It's about in Granite City right now, if not a minute ago. Washington Park,
Depending on the cell phone, when that power outage went out with AT&T, that didn't teach us nothing.
right now,
And we
our
can't
focus is
depend on
on
the cell
Granite
phone.
City, Pontoon Beach, right along 111 here, the area that is right along 111 at this point, in
Sad,
Madison.
but my man stuck in there for us.
7 people were killed after a tornado tore through parts of Missouri on Friday evening, with 5 of those deaths coming from St. Louis alone. One of those lives lost was a 70-year-old woman who was a moderator at Centennial Christian Church, located in the Fountain Park neighborhood of Northwest St. Louis, which took a direct hit from the storm. The tornado slammed into the church, toppling part of its roof and trapping people sheltering there under the rubble.
Just fucked us up. You hear me? Look at the windows and his shit. That window's gone. Look.
Lily, the little roof just came off. Alright, step back.
Oh my god.
My ears are popping.
The roof is coming off.
The AC.
Oh my God. Glass. You know that one.
Oh my god. The build. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dozens of other homes nearby could be seen without their roofs, exposing families to the elements. They were part of at least 5,000 homes in St. Louis that experienced some type of storm damage, according to St. Louis Mayor Cara Spencer.
Everywhere. Flip the van over.
Oh my God! We're in a tornado! We're literally in a fucking tornado, dude.
Look at the trees, dude.
Oh fuck, dude, it just crushed the crane truck. Oh my fucking God. Dude.
Well, I lay down like
Zach and I saw that motherfucker start. Dude, this whole place is fucked.
Well,
It might flip the truck. Oh, fuck!
I try my best.
Holy fuck.
That's why I got out the machine.
Your machine's fucked.
See?
The area is just hard hit from this, and I really don't know how to recover from this, Jones said to Fox weather correspondent Katie Byron. Jones, describing the moment he tried to seek shelter from the storm, said his home suffered damage too. I went to the back of my house. My door was literally sucked out of my hand, and at an instant I could see my kitchen roof falling down, he said.
We're in the tornado. Oh shit. Oh shit. Came flying at me, man. I got up, my big ass got up out of there. God damn. Man, that motherfucker came at me, man.
I am currently in the middle of a tornado, and I hope I live to tell about it. This is insanity. Holy cow. Oh my God.
In addition to having lost their homes, many families are struggling to find food as the storm knocked out power, leaving food to spoil as freezers and refrigerators could no longer work. For those whose homes no longer have roofs, they are in need of tarps to cover what they have left of their homes.
All this damage.
I'm scared to go to my house.
This shit wild, bro. Whole roof.
Oh, that ain't on Josh's house. This Josh's house right here. I'm gonna send Josh a picture of his house.
It's emotional. I don't really know what to say, but it's hard. Community member Andre Branyan said to Byron, "This is hard right here. I can see what people are going through. This is hard."
No, this is heartbreaking. That's what this is. This is really heartbreaking. Like I said, we need boots on the ground. This city is in distress. I can't say it no less, you know. Like we actually need help. We need FEMA down there.
And a First Alert 4, I'm Morgan Harris. Tonight, the long road to recovery is just beginning across St. Louis. Here's what we know right now about those deadly storms and the trail of damage left behind. The service says an EF3 tornado hit parts of St. Louis City, leaving an extensive path of destruction. 5 people were killed and 38 others were injured. The city says more than 5,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Missouri Task Force 1 was called in right after the storm to help with search and rescue efforts. We have crews around the city showing us the impact of this deadly storm. We begin with our Russell Kinsall in North St. Louis. He's bringing us new details from city leaders this evening. Russell.
Right now, I'm standing at the city command post at Kings Highway in Delmar. Mayor Spencer and first responders just had an update just a short time ago, and here's what the main points were. The death toll continues to stand at 5. No names of those who died in the have been released, but they do tell us that they range in age from 32 to 82. Ameren says they've restored power to 73,000 customers, but there are still 66,000 without power. There are crews coming in from outside the area to assist. Right now, elected leaders are working on the paperwork to submit to the White House to ask for a presidential disaster declaration. That would be necessary in order to get federal help, financial help from FEMA. And lastly, Mayor Spencer said they've got a lot of organizations and groups that want to help, but it's a huge task trying to coordinate that, especially considering the fact that there's still power lines down, there's debris all over the place, and there are some trees blocking traffic. So right now, conditions aren't entirely safe.
You know, just thank the folks out. I mean, the heartwarming nature of what is happening is just truly, truly incredible. Thank you all. You know, I just can't say enough about the response here. Truly, truly, truly amazing.
While we were out earlier in the afternoon, we did catch up with members of the Missouri Task Force 1. They were at Neustadt and Margaretta, following up on the grid search done by the fire department last night. Everywhere we went, we saw power crews repairing downed or damaged electric lines. A number of streets still blocked by downed lines. The extent of the damage is just remarkable. Block after block after block of heavily damaged houses and businesses. We talked to the couple whose roof and walls to their second floor are just completely gone. The wife talked with us about being in the house when the storm hit. Her husband wasn't there at the time, but he told us about how his family has really come together, rallied around them, and taken them in and helping them after losing everything.
It's like, come on, here, get in the basement, everybody, come on. And as soon as we got in the basement, as we walking down the steps, we can just hear the whole house just falling apart.
They took us in, they brought us out there, said, get here. When we got there, we had mattresses, clothes, underwear, toothbrush, toothpaste. They just went and did it.
It's very heartwarming to hear stories like that about people coming together to help one another. We saw volunteers helping to clean up. Just incredible to see that sort of thing. I want to remind you that there's a lot of work left to do. The curfew is still going to be enforced tonight. It's still in existence. It begins at 9 p.m. and runs till 6 a.m., asking folks to stay home, stay off the roads tonight. Live in North St. Louis, Russell Kinsall, First Alert 4.
Certainly a lot of work ahead. Thank you, Russell. And while the city recovers, we're learning more about the 5 people who died after a tornado ripped through St. Louis. First Alert 4's Jordan Burrell joins us live near Carondelet Park in South City. She's telling us more about one man killed in the storm. Jordan.
Yeah, Morgan, I'm here in Carondelet Park where Juan Baltazar's wife says her life has been changed forever. She was here yesterday evening not to see the debris or all of the trees scattered on the ground, but to identify her husband. He was killed yesterday after a tree fell onto his car. He did die here at the scene. Juan Baltazar was the father of 7, 4 living in Mexico, 3 living here in the States. He was also a successful business owner. He operated a street corn truck, El Mandalon. Rachel Baltazar, his wife, says she believes her husband was on his way home from the Lowe's on Grand. A friend was trailing him in a separate car when tragedy struck. The friend driving to the family's home and waiting for Rachel to arrive from work to tell her the news. When I spoke to her this afternoon, she says it's been overwhelming, trying to inform longtime customers, their family, but also trying to stomach this tragedy herself.
It's been rough. It's hard to process, and then it's just, you keep seeing it over and over again, and it's just, I don't know, it's really weird.
The family has started a GoFundMe for his funeral arrangements. We'll have more information on that within the First Alert 4 news app. Reporting live, I'm Jordan Burrell, First Alert 4.
All right, Jordan, just a heartbreaking story there. A woman killed when a North St. Louis church collapsed is being remembered as a dedicated member of the community. Family and friends tell First Alert 4 Patricia Pendleton was inside Centennial Christian Church when the storm hit. She's volunteering at the church at the time. Now, the worst of the tornado damage stretches across North St. Louis. First Alert 4's Elena Chappie continues our team coverage after talking to residents near Delmar Boulevard.
We're just right off of Delmar Boulevard in the Enright neighborhood where devastation has hit this area hard. And the man who lives in this home says he's just thankful to be alive. Curtis McMath is counting his blessings.
Oh yeah, I could have been dead, So.
As he steps inside the place he's called home for the last 18 years.
I'm still standing, so it's the house,
Salvaging any memories he can, finding irreplaceable items.
For me, my brothers and sisters.
Curtis says before the devastation hit his Enright neighborhood,
the whole neighborhood is gone.
He was trying to prepare.
It was calm just like it is right now. Coming out, cover the windshield up. Before I could even get the cover on, the wind got so hard, I couldn't even get to the front door. It kept pushing me back out.
And now, like many others in the community, the cleanup process begins.
We're going to start doing some community cleanups and a wellness checks on the people who were impacted.
Action St. Louis is gathering volunteers to help their neighbors in a time of need.
About 600 people signed up. There are over 100 people here today who are doing street cleans, so we're making sure that streets are clear, sidewalks are clear, we're cutting limbs, moving trash out of people's yards.
And for Curtis, the statue at his front door,
he's still standing. That's what we gotta do.
Is a reminder that even through the storm, he's protected. As people continue to pick up the pieces, the recovery process will continue for the days, weeks, and months ahead. For now, in Delmar, Elena Chappie, First Alert 4.
A massive tornado was spotted in the Clayton area of St. Louis in Missouri on Friday. The National Weather Service issued tornado warnings for several counties across Missouri and New Jersey. Locals and storm chasers posted videos of the twister on social media, warning others. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service, NWS, issued multiple tornado warnings for southeastern Missouri on Friday, as severe thunderstorms unleashed confirmed tornadoes and dangerous conditions across several counties. The warnings, effective until 3:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time, covered southeastern Iron, southern Madison, southwestern Bollinger, northeastern Wayne, southern Crawford, and western Washington counties, impacting communities such as Marquand, Saco, Steelville, and Lodi. Residents were urged to seek immediate shelter due to the threat of damaging tornadoes, flying debris, and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. At least 4 people were killed and 10 others were injured Friday after a storm caused significant damage in the St. Louis metro area.
No question about it, y'all.
The storm was part of a system that has millions of people across several states on alert for the potential of tornadoes, damaging wind and large hail.
Build your lip, cave in.
According to a tweet from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, at least 4 storm-related fatalities have been confirmed. A representative of St. Louis Children's Hospital said the emergency department has received 10 patients because of the storm. One of the injured was in critical condition. The rest were expected to be discharged later Friday. Much of the damage seems to have happened in the University City area, where images of downed trees have surfaced on social media. According to storm reports from the National Weather Service, considerable wind damage was reported along Pershing Avenue in West St. Louis. Local media reporter Oliviana Calms found damage in Clayton, just south of University City. She said she has seen several trees damaged and some trees have fallen on cars in the area. The skies turned green. Rachel, a resident of Clayton, told Calms. The winds started whipping. Then it fell silent, and then you heard what sounded like a train, and everything started falling. According to a Facebook post, the St. Louis Zoo sustained damage during the storm and will be closed through Saturday. All animals are safe and accounted for, and there have been no reports of significant injuries to staff, guests, or animals, the zoo staff wrote in the post. The NWS described the storm as a particularly dangerous situation when the tornado warning was issued that covered more than 1 million people across the St. Louis metro. A funnel cloud was also spotted in Fenton, Missouri, about 20 miles southwest of the heart of St. Louis. It was not immediately clear if any injuries were reported.
All right, so I'm at City.
Radar confirmed that a tornado touched down in the suburb of Clayton or near Forest Park, Missouri, and moved toward the north side of downtown St. Louis. Radar indicated debris was lofted up high enough to indicate that the tornado may have been EF2 to EF3 strength damage. A tornado survey will be required to learn its exact strength. As the tornado crossed the Mississippi River just north of downtown, damage reports began pouring in. Bystanders captured video of the aftermath, including a downtown building with its roof ripped off. Emergency officials reported at least 1 building struck by debris, shattered windows, and numerous injuries, while videos posted to social media showed trees littering the streets and vehicles covered by fallen branches.
Look at the windows and his shit. The windows gone.
City workers reportedly took shelter in the basement of City Hall as the tornado approached, according to local media. Among areas that may have been impacted, based on radar and traffic disruptions, were parts of the Washington University campus, the St. Louis Zoo grounds, and a section of the Metrolink light rail line north of the zoo. Social media posts showed trees in roads and damage to buildings and cars throughout the area. Hail was also part of the storm. There was significant damage on North Euclid Avenue in the Central West End. During the tornado, Aisha Moorhead said she had to open doors to get people to safety. We felt the lights go off, and then the building shook, and then all hell broke loose, said Moorhead, assistant property manager of Roosevelt Town Apartments. Moorhead said the storm was bringing the community together to clean up debris. It feels good to see everyone working together, Moorhead said. Honestly, it's a good thing. It sucks that it had to get to this for us to work together, but it's beautiful to see. More than 115,000 Ameren customers were without power as of 4:30 p.m. Outages also caused Metrolink to stop running the red line between Wellston and Central West End and the blue line between Maplewood, Manchester and the Central West End. Bus shuttles will transport passengers in those areas. The Missouri History Museum announced it was closing for the rest of the day because of the storm. The St. Louis Zoo is also closed for the rest of Friday and Saturday because of damage. A social media post said that all animals were safe and accounted for, and that there were not significant injuries of any staff or visitors. Some businesses and organizations also reported damage, including the Craft Alliance on Delmar Boulevard and the Animal Protective Association of Missouri in Brentwood. The storm also damaged the set for Shakespeare in the park's production of Hamlet in Forest Park. The NWS issued tornado warnings for the metro east and south of Rolla as storms moved through the region. Until the national
All right. Now that's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna just skip on over. That's MLK. It's the statue that was knocked over in that part. Martin Luther King Jr. There was a statue of him. Whoever he just said, I done forgot just that fast, but it's not that person.
National Weather Service goes out to survey damage. It does not officially confirm there was a tornado or the likely tornado strength, but radar during the storm showed strong rotation and debris, which led to the radar confirmation. Meanwhile, severe storms moved through the heartland on Friday afternoon into the evening, May 16th. We issued a first alert action day for Friday due to the threat of severe storms. The Scott County Sheriff said he just got to the Van Duser area to assess the damage. Preliminarily, he said they have whole homes gone. People are asked to avoid the southern part of Scott County from Morley to Sykeston. Our crew in Cape Girardeau County found damage to a barn on County Road 343. Thousands are without power throughout the heartland. Videos of damage from Forest Park, Concordia Seminary, and other popular spots across St. Louis and Clayton surfaced on social media soon after a massive tornado hit the populated Missouri cities on Friday. This comes as several cities in Missouri, Delaware, and New Jersey are under a tornado warning. At least 2 tornado touchdowns were confirmed in the St. Louis region on Friday after severe storms rolled through the area. The latest tornado warning for the region was issued for portions of St. Genevieve County through 6 p.m. Friday night. Earlier in the day, meteorologists confirmed that a tornado touched down in Clayton at around 2:45 p.m. and another touchdown northeast of Des Arc at around 3 p.m. The touchdowns came as residents in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and portions of the Metro East were put under a tornado warning through 3:15 p.m. Tornado warnings were also issued in areas southwest of St. Louis, including communities near Rolla, St. James, and portions of Crawford County through 2:30 p.m. The storms caused damage to buildings and knocked out power to thousands of residents on Friday. The Metro St. Louis area was under a level 4 of 5 for the threat of severe weather, and large hail had been the main concern. But a spate of tornadoes was reported around 2 p.m. There are 30,000 buildings in the city of St. Louis without power and 40,000 in the county. A weather impact alert was issued for severe storms capable of producing tornadoes and baseball-sized hail from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday. The Storm Prediction Center upgraded St. Louis severe weather threat level to a 4 out of 5, a moderate risk, on Thursday afternoon.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive.
Thursday afternoon's update. Our main reason for issuing a weather impact alert day for Friday is to give you as much of a heads up on the potential of impactful and potentially disruptive weather, the meteorologist said. The greatest, most widespread threat appears to be from large hail. While strong winds and a tornado or two can't be ruled out, hail can have the costliest impacts. The threat of intense winds and tornadoes is greatest to the southeast of St. Louis.
Glad it didn't, but I'm kind of surprised this didn't take more lives.
Illinois State Police have closed down long stretches of I-55 and I-74 in McLean County as dust storms were causing dangerous, life-threatening driving conditions in central and east central Illinois.
Like a twig.
Also, high winds led to thousands of customers without electricity in McLean County. According to the Power Outage US website, almost 4,600 customers had no electricity as of 6:45 p.m. Troopers have closed I-55 from South Bloomington to McLean, I-74 from South Bloomington to Farmer City, and US Route 136 from McLean to Hayworth. Motorists are advised to drive with caution and avoid unnecessary travel in this area, said state police in a Facebook post. A dust storm warning was in effect until 6:45 p.m. Friday for portions of central and east central Illinois counties, including McLean County. The National Weather Service said there was near zero visibility with damaging wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour. The dust storm is causing dangerous, life-threatening travel conditions, according to the Weather Service. An emergency manager reported a multiple vehicle accident on I-74 in DeWitt County.
Look at the leaves.
Dangerous and life-threatening driving conditions were reported on I-74 between the Rivian plant in Normal to Oakwood in Vermilion County, and on I-55 from Lincoln to Chenoa. The Weather Service also reported dangerous conditions on I-39, just north of Normal. Motorists should not drive into a dust storm. Pull aside, stay alive, the Weather Service said. There is no safe place on a highway when a dust storm hits. Visibility can be lost immediately, making it difficult or impossible to slow down and avoid stopped vehicles. Delay travel or safely exit the highway before the dust storm arrives.
U.S. and left a massive trail of devastation in its path. The storms leveled homes, uprooted trees, brought down power lines across a dozen states from Michigan to Alabama. And video from hard-hit Laurel County, Kentucky, shows residents and first responders searching through piles of debris and mangled vehicles. They're looking for victims. Governor Andy Beshear says at least 14 people died in the southeastern part of the state, and he expects the number to climb. Here's how one resident described the storm's impact.
I went in the house and I looked out the side window, and when I started on the side window, it looked like all that stuff was coming from
evening, with 5 of those deaths coming from St. Louis alone. One of those lives lost was a 70-year-old woman who was a moderator at Centennial Christian Church, located in the Fountain Park neighborhood of northwest St. Louis, which took a direct hit from the storm. The tornado slammed into the church, toppling part of its roof and trapping people sheltering there under the rubble.
Just fucked us up, you hear me? Look at the windows and his shit. That window's gone, look.
Oh my god.
Years of popping.
The roof roof is coming off.
The AC.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dozens of other homes nearby could be seen without their roofs, exposing families to the elements. They were part of at least 5,000 homes in St. Louis that experienced some type of storm damage, according to St. Louis Mayor Cara Spencer.
Everywhere. Flip the van over. Oh my god! We're in a tornado! We're literally in a fucking tornado, dude. Oh fuck, dude, it just crushed the crane truck. Oh my fucking god. Dude.
Well, I lay down like
Zach and I saw that motherfucker starting.
A lot of damage done. Looked like somebody dropped a bomb over here, but you know, never thought we'd see a tornado in the city like this. So, you know, some died. You know, a lot of people survived, but this is a lot of damage done over here. This is a catastrophe. So, you know, a lot of people out here helping cleaning up. We trying to patch up and rebuild stuff, but it's a lot of work needs to be done. You wait all week for Friday to come home and try to relax, and then you gotta deal with this. Like I had to get a room and stuff last night. Messes with your pockets and stuff like that. Well, it's Mother Nature, you know. There's nothing we can do about it, so.
I came home from a lunch and watched my house get ripped apart. We are in a vulnerable state. There's no power, there's no service. It's very important that the resources and the investments that people are organizing, we see it here. We're really just looking for people to protect us and not look at this as a way to profit, because it's going to be a long road ahead.
I grew up on the north side of St. Louis. I was born on the north side of St. Louis, so I'm out here. I have hygiene essentials, chips, food, drinks, juices. So yeah, just give it back in my heart. Thank you. Feel it's the right thing to do. City's giving so much to me, why not?
that corner house.
This is St. Louis, man. We are resilient out here. We're strong. You know, we get such a bad rap in the city. It felt good, and it feels good to see so many people helping each other out. You know, our city's tough.
To still be living over that, because
The clouds are actually...
they had said something about a storm coming. I don't think I would have took cover. Because, like I said, it never happened in that area before.
That is gonna get nailed here in a minute. Oh, look at that power outlet just really, oh my goodness.
It did.
Green. Wow, it is very
Blessings
windy.
to those families.
Look how fast it's going. There's something going on over there. Oh my goodness, there's debris. There's debris. There might actually be a tornado. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, there is things flying off over there. Roofs are flying off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We need to get inside. We need to get inside right now. We need to get inside. Get inside. Get inside. Oh my goodness. Okay. We are on the 22nd floor. Hold.
See it across the way. I guess the power did flip off. Wow.
Man, it's a tornado, man. We're in the tornado. Oh,
crazy. Oh, shit.
The last video viral.
oh my God, it's the fellow.
Right over side. Electric flickering and shit.
We just had a phone call out there, me on the shop phone, say tornado warning, and boy, you can see that shit moving. Look at that shit. Now that shit is rounding up. This shit shooting to the left, that shit shooting to the right, look at it. I see that shit. Oh yeah. That sound like that motherfucker right here coming through this bitch. Hey!
That's right. Something to do there. Hope you got out of there safe. Whoa.
Look at that.
I heard some sirens in the background there.
Hey man, it's a tornado, man.
Guess they wasn't going there.
We're in the
Wasn't
tornado.
everywhere.
Oh shit!
But God. But God. Y'all, I walked away. Me and my son.
This was a
Minor
blessing right
injury.
here.
But God, we can get another car.
They walked out of
Tornado
that
came through my
car
car, y'all.
alive,
But God.
unharmed.
But God.
Blessings.
It turns a two-story into a ranch concept because
Who needs the elevator?
Right, here's Redbud, y'all. We got hit pretty bad. All the trees, cars.
Yeah, that's all I seen was head. Wasn't as bad as you look where I was at.
Baby, this is all hell.
No, that ain't nothing to play with. You staying there long enough, they'll probably take your life. Knock you out.
Yeah.
Nice little hickey, I know that. The landscape will never be the same. Where is it? Say though.
And there's the roof.
Go back to the roof.
I chose just to buy it. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this.
Probably value.
This is a rat. Like, I don't even know.
Still probably gonna try to make it hard, but no, for sure. Now will probably be the time. So back about our childhood
A lot of
home.
people coming together to help. Yeah.
At this point, you ain't got no choice. You better.
Yeah, we gonna get it back.
All right.
The AC unit, them.
Right, hello, beautiful ladies.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, thank you. He was in it? Oh, wow.
The brick came in the whole roof off.
Oh, my goodness.
What was it like to hear the sounds coming? My ears were popping.
Really?
Yeah, it hit like that. It was that quick. You know, it lasted. It seemed like it lasted forever, but it was probably a couple minutes. So.
Whoa, that's long
Look
enough.
at the roof on the church over there.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's the roof to that right there.
Oh, wow.
That donation box goes inside where the canopy is, where you see those canopies over there. That's what's inside there. And it picked it up and threw it from way over there to there. Yeah, it was inside that little building thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it picked that car up.
You seeing all that now? Why you ain't pull your phone out?
The cheap.
That's some footage.
Everybody had it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of lives on serious note though. It's been a lot of lives that was not a lot of, well, it's been a lot of lives affected. After this storm, man, I think it surprised a lot of us. A lot of us weren't expecting no tornado to hit the inner city. This ain't never happened before. Not in my lifetime. Not no tornado. Think about the most we probably had was the worst we probably had was probably the snowstorm in '83. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably talking above some of y'all heads. Probably past a couple of y'all bedtime. If you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, in '83, the snowstorm. But we done had a few ice storms since then. And we also, a tornado have touchdown in Missouri. Not in the city of St. Louis, ever. I wouldn't have expected it. But you know what? From now on, I'm going to act accordingly. I will say that. Because, man, Mother Nature ain't playing with us. I don't really want to tell y'all what I think. Cause it's a big conspiracy to what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, no, it ain't no conspiracy. I just feel as though, you know, they say Mother Nature mad. Well, hear that now. I used to feel like, you know, by hitting the outskirts, it's out there trying to hit the privilege. You know, this God getting back at the privilege. The so-called privilege anyway. Think they privileged. But getting back at them. But now it's done hit the inner city. It's like, what he's saying now. Y'all out there taking my kids. You know what I'm saying? sure y'all need to be down there hugging each other, helping one another, not destroying one another. So if it's over all this materialistic, let me swoop through there and it's just my theory, my thoughts process sometimes. It's just one of them. Not to say that that's the way it is, but you know, man, this ought to make us think though. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to come together. We gonna have to come together for this one, for sure, because it's a lot of lives that's, like I say, been affected off this. So, it's a lot of people pulled together. Man, that was nice to see out there too. Like, you know, you hit a corner and they offering you coffee and donuts. Hit another corner, you know, they got food. Down across the way, they got water. Like, oh yeah, it was. And you seen the people pulling together. But this one right here hit home, and it hurt. You know, I ain't gonna lie. My heart goes out to the people, to the city of St. Louis. You know. I even had to get out there and boots on the ground, you know. Like I say, I put in no hard labor, but you know. Yeah, we saying that. Let me see. This one I don't think. This is not St. Louis. No, I did want to show them one that, because the tornado, it's a tornado in Kentucky right now, right? And it's supposed to be the same tornado that's been swept across to Kentucky. Let's see. And if y'all with me, hit the like button. Helps with the algorithm.
Do you support Israel and the Jewish people? Now, more than ever, Israel needs committed.
I'm not doing all that over here.
We're in the tornado.
Going viral.
Oh shit!
Nasty stuff.
At least 16 lives have been lost, and dozens more injured after a powerful tornado tore through the St. Louis, Missouri, and Kentucky on Friday, May 16, 2025.
When I say I was just in this shit, y'all, West Side, man.
I'm talking about tornado just hit me, cuz.
Footage captured during the storm shows roofs being peeled off buildings, trees uprooted, and debris scattered across streets. The National Weather Service confirmed that a tornado touched down near Clayton, Missouri, causing significant damage to structures and power lines. Over 5,000 properties were affected, and more than 115,000 customers were left without power by Friday night. Stick around till the end of the report because the damage is far beyond what you might think.
Me and my son, minor injury, but God, we can get another car. The tornado came through my car, y'all. But God.
Ay, Dios mío. Oh my God.
It wasn't just one tornado. It was a swarm. A system so violent, so unpredictable, that it brought entire counties to their knees. The first reports came in from Clayton, a suburb known for its tree-lined streets and quiet neighborhoods. What locals saw next was unlike anything they'd ever witnessed. A massive, churning tornado touched down in the heart of the suburb. Trees snapped like twigs. Cars were tossed. And then the funnel moved east, directly toward downtown St. Louis. By the time emergency services could react, entire neighborhoods were in ruins. In University City, homes were reduced to frames. In Forest Park, debris littered the historic grounds. The St. Louis Zoo sustained visible damage and closed through the weekend, though, miraculously, all animals and staff were safe. But the human toll couldn't be avoided. At least 7 people were confirmed dead in Missouri, and 17 more were injured and rushed to local hospitals, some in critical condition. One of the hardest hit areas was the Central West End, where buildings shook, windows shattered, and power vanished in an instant. In Roosevelt Town apartments, residents described lights flickering, walls trembling, and then the silence. The kind of silence that only comes before everything falls apart. Then came the roar. Debris filled the air, slamming into vehicles and buildings alike. Thousands of residents lost power. Over 115,000 customers were in the dark by 4:30 p.m. City workers took shelter in the basement of City Hall as radar confirmed a tornado moving directly toward the northern edge of downtown. And it wasn't over. The National Weather Service issued a rare high-level tornado warning, calling it a particularly dangerous situation. It was in place for over 1 million residents across Missouri, parts of Illinois, and even New Jersey. Towns like Marquand, Saco, and Steelville found themselves in the path of destruction. Hail the size of baseballs rained down in some areas. Flying debris was everywhere. Radar showed clear debris signatures over Clayton and Forest Park, suggesting EF2 to EF3 level damage. Though final assessments from survey crews are still pending, the evidence is undeniable. This was a major tornado outbreak. And it wasn't isolated. In Fenton, just southwest of St. Louis, a funnel cloud was spotted. A second confirmed tornado touched down near Des Arc. Meanwhile, intense thunderstorms battered southeastern Missouri. Counties like Iron, Madison, and Crawford were all under tornado warnings. In Cape Girardeau County, barns were flattened and trees stripped bare. In Scott County, the sheriff reported entire homes gone. The damage stretched from Van Duzer to rural towns like Miley and Sidon. Residents were urged to avoid southern parts of the county as emergency crews combed through rubble, looking for survivors.
You can't grow your podcast if you spend all your time editing. So
You can find some more?
I'm getting TikTok famous right now. TikTok famous. What?
It's okay, stay calm. Holy shit.
3:34 p.m.
Stay calm.
Located over St. Anne or over Overland, moving east at 50 miles per hour.
As day turned to night, the devastation only deepened. Major stretches of the Metrolink light rail system were shut down due to debris and power loss. Buses were dispatched to carry stranded passengers between stations like Maplewood, Manchester, and the Central West End. Businesses and institutions across the city shut their doors. The Missouri History Museum and the Shakespeare Festival in Forest Park canceled events. Craft Alliance, an arts center on Delmar Boulevard, suffered structural damage. Even the set for the outdoor production of Hamlet was torn apart by the storm's fury. Across state lines in central Illinois, dust storms created by high winds caused a separate emergency. Entire highways, Interstates 55, 74, and 39, were closed due to near-zero visibility. Illinois State Police warned of life-threatening driving conditions. Power was out for thousands in McLean County as a result of the sustained winds. But it was St. Louis that bore the worst of it. At its peak, the storm system left nearly 150,000 without electricity across Missouri and Illinois. The city was placed under a level 4 out of 5 severe weather threat by the Storm Prediction Center, just one step below the highest category. The original concern had been hail, but by 2 p.m., meteorologists knew tornadoes were inevitable.
This is the street light pole. Yeah. Uprooted. Bust my windows out. Knocked bricks down. That couch right there. That couch weighed a good 300, 400 pounds, about a good 200 pounds.
In Kentucky, the storm system proved equally devastating. A tornado tore through Laurel County late Friday night, resulting in a mass casualty event with at least 9 confirmed fatalities and numerous injuries. Emergency crews have been working tirelessly to search for survivors amid the wreckage. The tornado caused widespread destruction, including damage to the London Corbin Airport. Local authorities have set up emergency shelters, and the community has come together to provide support and donations to those affected. This violent outbreak was driven by a collision of warm, moist air surging up from the Gulf and a fast-moving cold front descending from the Rockies. The clash created explosive instability across the region, fueling supercells that spun off tornadoes with barely any warning. Now, as the sun rises over a battered city, the community is beginning the long journey toward recovery. Residents are clearing roads, patching rooftops, and picking up what remains of their homes and memories. Local officials, emergency responders, and neighbors are coming together, showing the resilience that Missouri and Kentucky are known for. But for many, life has been permanently altered. It left 16 dead, and the damage to property is massive. Over 5,000 structures are believed to have been affected. The emotional scars will last even longer. And the question now is, how do you rebuild after something like this? Governor Mike Kehoe is expected to address the state and lay out a recovery plan. Relief efforts are underway. The National Weather Service continues to assess the tornado paths, their strengths, and the full scope of this disaster. But one thing is certain, May 16th will be remembered not for what it threatened to bring, but for what it left behind. Sharing our condolences with the families who lost their loved ones, their homes, and their peace. Our hearts are with you in this time of sorrow and uncertainty. Together we stand united, hoping for strength, healing, and the courage to rebuild what has been lost. May you find comfort in the support of your community and in the days ahead. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe and
sound like I heard them outside trying to run people in the house now. No, we got a curfew. supposed to have been in the city though. I'm right on the border. But anyway. Yeah, it sounds like somebody on the megaphone. But the city needs help. The city needs help, and I don't think we're gonna be able to do it alone. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it alone. We're gonna need FEMA to kick in. You know, somebody hashtag President Donald Trump. Let them know, you know, the city down here in dire need. You know, people can't just pick up and move on with their lives that easy, especially when their lives been picked up and was swept out from under them that easy. These people need help, and I ain't been saying them seeking or sending help. Yeah, they cleaning up the streets. They getting the wires up, whatnot. But, and not to say that they responsible, but listen, we just got a check from the Rams. Let's utilize that money, you know. Let's utilize it right. A lot of these same people was probably those people that had season tickets that were supporting those Rams. Not only that, I mean, that's allocated money that, you know, we don't get off to all that, but yeah, like, come on, St. Louis, let's not play like we don't have the funds. Funds are there. We just need to come with it. And again, like I said, it was good to see the people pulling together, showing love to one another. You know, and at a time like that.
Born in the 70s, we might have a surprise for you.
Were you born between
It pretty much put everybody, you know, on the same playing field. And sad to say, I you know, sometimes I think that
from First Alert 4, this is a breaking news alert.
Oh my God!
For us to stay on the same playing field.
We're in a tornado!
Within the span of 5 minutes, no longer had a place to sleep at night.
We had bad.
Nah, okay. No, I said 5 minutes.
That story was nothing like this here. The whole neighborhood's gone. You know, you see it on TV, but you'll never think it happened to you, but it can.
It's devastating. There's no... I don't think you can put it into words. Pictures, the videos don't do it justice.
Scenes so devastating that words and even these images fail to paint the full picture of the situation the city of St. Louis finds itself in tonight. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of First Alert 4. I'm Morgan Harris. Tonight, the long road to recovery is just beginning across St. Louis. Here's what we know right now about those deadly storms and the trail of damage left behind. The service says an EF3 tornado hit parts of St. Louis City, leaving an extensive path of destruction. TheI 5 people were killed and 38 others were injured. The city says more than 5,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Missouri Task Force 1 was called in right after the storm to help with search and rescue efforts. We have crews around the city showing us the impact of this deadly storm. We begin with Russell Kinsall in North St. Louis. He's bringing us new details from city leaders this evening. Russell.
Right now I'm standing at the city command post at Kings Highway in Delmar. Mayor Spencer and first responders just had an update just a short time ago, and here's what the main points were. The death toll continues to stand at 5. No names of those who died in the have been released, but they do tell us that they range in age from 32 to 82. Ameren says they've restored power to 73,000 customers, but there are still 66,000 without power. There are crews coming in from outside the area to assist. Right now, elected leaders are working on the paperwork to submit to the White House to ask for a presidential disaster declaration. That would be necessary in order to get federal help, financial help from FEMA. And lastly, Mayor Spencer said they've got a lot of organizations and groups that want to help, but it's a huge task trying to coordinate that, especially considering the
So FEMA will kick in. Salute to FEMA. We need that.
In fact, the power line's down, there's debris all over the place, and there are some trees blocking traffic. So right now, conditions aren't entirely safe.
You know, just thank the folks out here. I mean, the heartwarming nature of what is happening is just truly, truly incredible. Thank you all. You know, I just can't say enough about the response here. Truly, truly, truly amazing.
While we were out earlier in the afternoon, we did catch up with members of the Missouri Task Force 1. They were at Neustadt and Margaretta, following up on the grid search done by the fire department last night. Everywhere we went, we saw power crews repairing downed or damaged electric lines. A number of streets still blocked by downed lines. The extent of the damage is just remarkable. Block after block after block of heavily damaged houses and businesses. We talked to the couple whose roof and walls to their second floor are just completely gone. The wife talked with us about being in the house when the storm hit. Her husband wasn't there at the time, but he told us about how his family has really come together, rallied around them, and taken them in and helping them after losing everything.
It's like, come on here, get in the basement, everybody, come on. And as soon as we got in the basement, as we walking down the steps, we can just hear the whole house just falling apart.
They took us in, they brought us out there, said, get here. When we got there, we had mattresses, clothes.
Cleanup well underway this morning after a deadly EF3 tornado tore through St. Louis Friday afternoon. We have team coverage. Travis Cummings is live in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood with a closer look at the damage. And also joining us this morning is Walker Lawson. In from Charlotte at our sister station, WCNC, who is live with the latest on recovery efforts from city officials. But first, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with your weather impact forecast. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Kelly. It has been a traumatic, 36, 48 hours around St. Louis for sure. The thing that we have to tell you this morning is that it is quiet for most of us. There are some showers on the radar this morning. They are mostly south and southwest of St. Louis. There's even a couple of rumbles of thunder in here. None of this is severe. It'll pass by to our south during the morning hours, and we should have some sunshine this afternoon, and it should end up being a pretty decent day. Right now, temperatures are around that 60-degree mark across the area.
Man,
once we get this
gonna
area
get some
of
rain.
showers through, and you can see stronger storms are down into portions of Arkansas. Once we get this area through, it should become partly cloudy, and the rest of the day is relatively quiet. Now, we do have weather impact alerts that we've issued for Monday and again on Tuesday. I know this isn't what you want to hear, mainly during the day here as we head into Monday, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. All hazards are possible once again. It doesn't look like it's going to be a repeat of Friday, all right? But we still want you to be ready to act. We still want you to keep those devices charged. And again, as we go into Tuesday, it's mainly during the daytime hours. All hazards once again on the table. That includes a potential for some gusty winds, hail. Tuesday, there is more of a potential tornado threat, but there's no guarantee on that, and we don't know how the ingredients are all going to come together. We're giving you that early heads up that that potential's there. It doesn't look like a repeat of what we saw on Friday. Nonetheless, we want you to be staying aware on Monday and Tuesday for the potential.
Many parts of St. Louis, especially hit hard much of North City. Travis Cummings joins us live this morning near O'Fallon Park. Good morning, Travis. And the sun is coming up. Set the scene for us.
Good morning, Kelly. To be frank with you this morning, this is the neighborhood where no home was untouched. Near Redbud Avenue right now, we're on Penrose, and I want to get your sight on the damage right now. Take a look at this telephone pole that is leaning into a structure. You have brick on the ground here. Take a look at this garage that toppled on over this car here. Unmovable vehicles along this road right now. And if you take a look down this alleyway here, you can see nothing. It looks like a forest inside of a neighborhood. That is how bad and how extensive this damage was. You see glass blown out of windows. Again, there is no structure untouched in this neighborhood. Several cars, several vehicles. I think I saw one person walking down the street this morning. It's unclear if people stayed in their homes overnight this morning. I hope that many of them got out because there is no power. When we were driving into this part of the north side, there was no power. You still have thousands waking up in the dark this morning. Again, debris scattered throughout the streets. There is siding coming off of a lot of these properties. Windows smashed, blown out, gates, fixtures, things like that. We also see, sentimental things that have just sort of blew outside of people's homes this morning. And I'm also starting to see signs of restoration this morning. So I see this telephone pole. This is a new telephone pole that has been put down by an electrical company. So you're already starting to see a little bit of restoration this morning. As the sun comes up, we're going to start to see groups mobilizing. I know Urban League has several of their folks out and about, and that's going to be for the next couple of weeks. We know this is going to take some time here. This is the largest storm in a while here in the city of St. Louis of this magnitude. But as we know, this happened in several places across the bi-state. So again, this is what the site looks like this morning. This is only day 2 of the restoration process. A lot of families are going to have to recover from this, and the basic needs are what's important this morning. That water, that food still. But in terms of the neighborhood coming back together, it's really desolate right now. It's really hard to describe, but we're going to continue to be on the ground for you and give you as much of a sight as we possibly can, while also staying safe. So if you have to come to this neighborhood, we advise that you stay safe, as these power lines are still kind of sinking here and can be dangerous. But for live, we're live in the north side this morning. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Travis, I don't know if you can hear me, but I know you probably just arrived there not long ago, and you were saying that it looks like there is a sign of cleanup crews to that neighborhood. And I know they're so busy, they have so many areas to cover, but what is your feeling as far as that neighborhood goes?
Yeah, the only sign that I'm seeing right now is this telephone pole. You see some cones here. This is a company, Black and McDonald. I assume that it's an electrical company that have already started to come out. But as we know, with these power grids, they kind of just have to go by which ones are giving the most signals out. That's what we heard from Ameren yesterday during that press conference. And so, it's unclear where they will start first in terms of rebuilding the power, but I can tell you that there is new telephone poles at least laying on the ground right now. And so hopefully they're gonna get those up here soon. It could be weeks, it could be months. Kelly.
All right, so much work to do. All right, thank you, Travis. And right now, city officials, utility crews, and countless residents are working around the clock to clean up damage. and provide relief to those who need it most. WCNC's Walker Lawson, he is in from Charlotte. He joins us live from the city's command center in Fountain Park with an update from St. Louis leaders focused on storm recovery. Walker, welcome to St. Louis. And what is it like out there right now?
Yeah, well, Kelly, this morning when we came in from the center of downtown St. Louis, obviously there was power and lights, but once we got to this side of town, it was dark. There was no lights around us. We did have to, slowly drive through the area. Again, many street lights out, many of the power poles that don't have any power on them. So again, still without power over here in this area. Now, Fountain Park is just a couple blocks over. The White Castle is right behind me for those familiar with this area. But what we know so far is that 5 people have been killed with 38 others injured, some of those remaining in critical condition. Again, Mayor Spencer calling this one of the worst storms to hit St. Louis, saying first responders are working around the clock through the damage. Again, St. Louis Fire Department has swept 62 square miles of the city and called it, quote, worse than what you could see from the air. A curfew remains in place from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in only the 5th and 6th districts for safety measures. Again, last night we heard from Chief of Police Robert Tracy and Mayor Kara Spencer. Here's what they had to say.
We got to make sure we can keep everybody safe and make sure that nobody's taking advantage of this situation. And so far it's been very, very minimal. And I thank the community for coming forward to make sure we keep our city safe.
As we move through the next few days, we're hoping to better organize that process so regular citizens can play an important role in helping do the cleanup.
Now, again, I know that over here we have not seen any cleanup crews out this morning, but again, daylight has now just started to come out, so we will kind of drive around and get a sense of what this community is looking like, and we'll have more coming up at 6:30.
We'll check back in with you later. All weekend, we've been showing you a closer look at the destruction left behind from Friday's tornado. Here's an aerial view showing the extent of damage near Newstead Avenue in North City.
That's the information. If you want to help, donate, call and report the storm, damage in your area, what have you. That's a contact. But like the captain said, man, I'm praying for St. Louis City after the tornado. The tornado wasn't expected. That was totally unexpected. I'm glad that to see a lot of people made it out. I'm also glad to see that we pulling together to make sure that we pull out of this. You don't have to do it brick by brick, because as you can see, some of these houses was completely wiped off the map. It's nothing but rubble. A pile of red brick. And like I say, gonna take a lot of teamwork, man. Prayers to those who lost loved ones. But St. Louis, it's the hardest we ever been hit. We're gonna have to match that energy just to pull back and get back halfway where we started. They're gonna have to come in and rebuild a lot of it. A lot of these structures should have been rebuilt anyway, but The thing about that is that I don't like, me personally, is that they gonna come back with nothing but 2x4 and some drywall. We'll no longer see this brick. No. Not on the north side, not no more. If your house didn't withstand this storm, no. No, yeah, I know how they do it. It's gonna look all fancy. But the next storm that come through, we won't see them many houses last. Salute squad. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me over here at Fly High Productions. Right here in the building. Hit the like button, pass the share the live with your favorite cousin. Cause like I say, man, our city, we need some help. We need some help. We helping ourselves. We helping each other, should I say. We could use some outside help too, though. Like, I'm talking about big help, like FEMA type help. We need that. That's almost a must. But the news broadcaster said that FEMA would be coming in. That's good to hear. You know, we ain't just being left out there, but we're gonna see how this FEMA thing work too, though. You know, where we gonna spread that FEMA money at? Because we don't need to be trying to put trees back up in Forest Park. Don't need to be trying to make sure that the trolley fixed down Delmore. I don't know if the stadium got touched or whatnot. I'm pretty sure it didn't, because it probably would have took over the national news. But we don't need to be rebuilding the stadium right now. We can hold off on fixing the potholes, because, you know, it seemed like we was only doing a mile and a half to 2 miles of pavement a year. One stretch. Kings Highway, the little stretch in Kings Highway, from St. Louis Avenue to Martin Luther King. That's nice. That's nice. It was way overdue, but that's nice. What else we don't need to be doing right now in St. Louis? We do not need to be investing in a malicious police force. Reinforcing that right now. You know, I don't think that's what we need. We need FEMA to come in here and put some of that money into rebuilding. Giving some of these people jobs again, because it was some jobs affected along the way too. that Natural Bridge and what's Newstead, Taylor area up there, Newstead. The whole Aldi's. It was a dentist up in there. Like, yeah. I ain't tripping off the little confectionery. Like, that's just me personally. Like, we can do without them anyway. We need our mom and pop stores back. Need to get back to that. The only way we gonna do that is, when mom and pop open these stores, we gotta go in there and respect mom and pop. We can't be stealing they rap snacks. Because they invested in it, and that's what took them out of business. When mom and pop was helping us out. You go in there and steal from that lady, that store and them same people who was, you took that note around there too when you was a kid, before you could even read. You gave them that note and they gave you a brown bag full of food. I don't know what the note said. All you know is your grandmama said, take this around there and get it to, you know what I mean? But you came away with her with some food. I bet you can't do that with them Arabs. I bet that won't happen up in there. Nah, that ain't happening. And if so, you better be leery of it. Anyway, my city needs some help. We need boots on the ground. Saws, trucks, whatever you can lend to the city right now. First and foremost, to my city. We need to help ourselves first. We gotta pull together. We gotta pull these these shoestrings tight. Lace these boots up. Get on out there. You hear what my man said? Thought he finna start his weekend. He did. His 5. He wanted to kick his boots off and kick back, but right now we can't do that. We gotta lend a helping hand where we can. Let's bounce back, St. Louis. Let's bounce back. Again, this is Mr. Follow Up. I appreciate y'all rocking with me over here at Fly High Productions. I am praying for our city, because this one right here really rocked us. I don't think we ever witnessed nothing like this before. Talking about this one came in. You talking about a kicked door. This one kicked in. And it's one of them things you can't just ignore. And one way or the other, the city is affected by this. Because if you're not living in that area, you got people living in that area. It's a lot of people affected. And then I rode through there, and it's funny how I ain't no religious person, but I'm spiritual, and I think sometimes I look at the signs, and I'm supposed to be living in. I wanted to be in that house on Larry, but my Creator said no. That was when I first come back this way, that's where I went. And for some reason, my creator say, nah, that ain't what I want for you. At the time, you know, it was an unaliving that had occurred. There was a few things that had went on in my life, but this unaliving had occurred at the doorsteps where I was supposed to be moving. Had nothing to do with me. Had nothing to do with nobody that stayed there, and nothing to that nature, you know. They was looking for refuge. That's what I heard anyway. But so my creator said to me, nah, you know, and like I said, it was a couple of more occurrences that were going on at that time, and I was like, no, wait a minute, there's too much depth around me. And you know, I was coming to them forks in the road, and I chose left. But had I been there, you know, and that building been in that building has been in the family probably since 40 or 50 somewhere. We talking a few generations. And sadly to say, but proudly to say, I was the last to hold it in the family bloodline as a Walton, you know what I mean? But my godfather took over the property. So they say it's still in the family. I don't know if my ancestors feel the same way about that. You know, they put their blood, sweat, and tears in that. I feel a certain type of way about that. So I feel like they put their blood, sweat, and tears in that. And maybe it's because I feel some type of fault, but nevertheless, it's funny how, you know, things work. And I'm gonna go check with old Godfather. See if he wanna sell now. I could use those bricks. You know what I mean? And I rebuild right there on that land. Like our great grandfathers did. By hand. Just sad I'm an old man now. But, you know what I mean? That being said, some old currency out here too. And take care and solve a lot of those problems, but I'm just thinking right now, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, this whole storm, man, like, it got my head in a whirlwind all over the place. But on a serious note though, for real, like, now would be the time to strike to go through there and buy up a lot of that property. And I get it like it is and come and have my own demolition crew come through there, stack them bricks and get that profit off those bricks and sell them bricks elsewhere, or rebuild with them same bricks. Some of them anyway. But yeah, now would be the time. You know, we always talking about buying up the hood, buying back the block. Hey, just food for thought right there. You know, you got a little petty cash like sitting around somewhere. Man, go on get that crib. Go on get great granny crib. Buy that crib back. Or where her crib used to be anyway. Buy that plot. Get that plot of land. And try to rebuild with brick. And go with that little 2x4 drywall inside. And Big Bad Wolf taught us that in elementary, right? We ain't get that part of the game down. We didn't understand that. I think he made it clear. I think it was clear. But that was the Big Bad Wolf. This was Mother Nature. Her it come through. Brick or not. It been some metal out there. And you can't fight with Mother Nature when she come through her. You gotta bow down to it. But yeah, I do want to go back and clarify that, you know, that statue. I think he said that statue was some type of painter, another brother, whole another race. That was Martin Luther King in Fountain Park that toppled over. Don't be disrespectful, whoever you are. Don't be disrespectful to the king. But that's another thing that I was thinking about too, right? Like, dang, he toppled over Martin Luther King. Maybe it was, you know, it was structurally, it wasn't stable. You know, we'll just say that. But then the way I be thinking as far as the creator is like, is that a sign? Because it was said that we wasn't supposed to idolize. And there was a lot of people idolizing that statue. There was a lot of people coming in from out of town just to see that statue. Not knowing where they was at. Trying to view that statue. Again, like I said, the whole storm just had my head in a whirlwind all over the place. The areas that it hit. Like the path it took. And the destruction. And the damage that it caused and left behind in a little bit of no time. No time. Just think in a blink of an eye, your life can be uprooted and changed just like that. And a lot of us worry about the next Jordans. And we got a problem. We got a problem, y'all. Like, we think too small. You know what I mean? Like you plotting on something on your feet. It should be showing you again. The future is about having something over your head. You know, I'm just gonna go and say it. We be hustling asshole backwards. We do. We be hustling asshole backwards. Like all the J's, you know, that can go towards a mortgage. A plot of land somewhere. Life insurance policy. You know what I mean? And we just be out here gambling. The sad part is we be gambling with our own lives. And you know it. You got these YNs, they gambling with the next person life now though. Quick. Right along with theirs though, you know? That's the sad part. Come on, man. Yeah, that's the sad part. They right along with their life. St. Louis, we gotta pull together. It's a sign right here, y'all. I don't know what the sign's saying, other than we gotta pull together. And obviously, a lot of us getting the message. There's a lot of us who's pulling together. You know, I've seen a lot of people out there, you know, even going on rescue missions. Pulling trees that, you know, and they were just clearing the street. Showing off nobody's house or out their yard or off their car. They was clearing the street. Big trees. And that was the amazing thing about this storm too. But if you think about it, the larger the tree, then the wider the branches and leaves, the more the leaves, and so it's gonna catch the wind more. So it's a bigger structure, and it wasn't stable enough to last through that tornado. But then, you know, right there on the other side of the world, not even on the other side of the world, other side of the neighborhood, other side of St. Louis, there's people that wasn't even affected. You know, they power probably didn't even flicker. But then you seen all the damage. I ain't even gonna lie, I was just affected by the Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi was down for 3 days. Other than that, you know, with no damage, and it's almost like I'm almost right between those areas that it hit. You know, I'm at work. I'm watching people run to get their car and go park in the garage. Thinking to myself, man, I tripped. My car was outside. Got home. Looked like it had been in the car wash. Had a little shine to it. No damage. The house was cool. Like I say, other than the Wi-Fi. Then, man, jump in that car and you go down, go a little east, a little northeast. You see all the families that's affected, all the damage that's done. I'm talking about some of these places you can't even recognize. And if you don't know the neighborhood, don't depend on the street signs, because they was gone. You know, it's a sad sight to see, man. When you think about it, like, just imagine yourself in that position, like, one day you wake up and you wake up in your home, the next day it's gone. I'm talking about literally gone, blown away. It was sad to see those houses that was just down to rubble, like the wind just straight flattened them to where it was just a pile of bricks. It almost looked like, you know, somebody came through and just over the course of time just threw bricks up there, on top of brick, on top of brick. You didn't see no roof to it or nothing, no other type of structure, nothing but a pile of brick, red brick. And that's sad to see, because you know what if somebody was in that house. What if somebody did try to run for safety in the basement somewhere. That's why I said the total is yet to come. Sad to say that they probably still be pulling bodies out, man, for the next month or so. Yeah, FEMA need to hurry up and get her, because we need the power tools and everything. They gonna need the funding behind it, the manpower. You gotta pay them boys. So yeah, let's go and get right, FEMA. Let's not take too long, cause man, being without water, ain't no way to be. I'm just rambling though right now, y'all.
Alright, y'all, today has been absolutely insane. So basically in St. Louis, it was a tornado, came through St. Louis, more so like the downtown area, and it devastated the city. You was in there? Jesus, yes, man. What God? What God? Look at her core, yeah. What God? What God? What God, baby? What God? Oh my God! What God? Look at her core, yeah. Caught right in the middle of the tornado, baby. What God? What God, baby? Woo! Woo! I seen the come. I said, son, the tornado finna hit. I pulled off, y'all. Pulled over to the side of the road. Literally stopped the tornado. Yeah, look. And the stuff started blowing. So as I said, Father God, keep us safe in your name, Father God. I started praying. Y'all, my car said, boom! The window smashed. Boom! I'm
still praying. Hallelujah, Father God.
He grabbed me off the bed. I was asleep. He grabbed me, took me in the basement. We had to dig ourselves out the basement. This is crazy. But I get Mother Nature just you can't blame her, you know. That dumpster used to be way over there.
South side of the Bolivar and Delmar, there were bricks flying in the air, so I'm not sure. You got some trees down that are pretty big trees. I got to get home, y'all, because they say a tree fell on both my house and my car.
I heard there's actually people trapped in the building right now. Sending prayers to them. This is just insane. So I'm a teacher, and while I was at work, we had to do the tornado drill. We went out in the hallways, and we tried to make sure all the students were safe. And so when I got out of school, I decided to drive a shortcut home because the highways were just packed. And I decided to avoid the highway and go through our St. Louis Zoo area. And man, the zoo was just horrible. And it was a nice day out. The sun was out. It was a beautiful day. Probably sure that there were people running in the park or jogging in the park. And I just hope that they were okay, because trees were falling left and right, you know, so hopefully everybody was okay. This is so unfortunate, girl. I just can't believe it. Hey, I will say shout out to the security in them. They are here getting it done.
Forest Park is one of the first places it hit. Well, the second, you say.
It was crazy. As you can see, the wind is not very friendly today, and I'm glad the camera did not break. Van life is great. I love it, and that's where I've been, doing van life things. I live full time in my van. This is probably the scariest part of van life. Like, all of it is great, and I love it so much, but man, tornadoes and severe weather in your van is just not ideal. It's not fun. Like, you really have to think about, like, my next move. Where should I park? In some of the clips you see, a lot of branches have fallen on people's cars. And for me, my car is my house. So it's not really ideal for something to fall on my car. You know, it's easy to use insurance to get it fixed, but it's like, this is my house. So if I have to go get it fixed, where do I sleep that night? And thankfully I'm in St. Louis and all of my family's here. So I'm blessed. But the trick to it for me, when I'm in a city like this, and this is a tip for you if you out here doing van life, or if you're driving through a storm in your car, what I like to do is go to IKEA. I love popping into an IKEA. I got the low roof van so I can fit in. I don't know what the height is, but I can fit in there. So when it's bad weather and storms coming, I just pull my van right into IKEA and wait it out. I've done that like 3 times here in St. Louis when it was like hailing, tornado sirens, and that's the most safe I feel. I don't know, it's just something about concrete buildings and things like that. Also, there's another parking garage down here where cars park, and I got a Charlie horse in my toe. Long story short, park in the parking garage, and that's the most safe I feel.
Mayor Kara Spencer.
Thank you all. I'll just say on the forefront of this that our city is grieving tonight. The loss of life and the destruction is truly horrendous. We just learned that the death toll so far has reached 5. And it truly is a hard night for many people and many families in our community. Over 5,000 homes, my understanding, have been affected, and as Mitch pointed out, we're going to have a lot of work to do in the coming days. There is no doubt there, but tonight we are focused on life.
This is the pink salt recipe that took me from 179 to 126 in just weeks. You know what?
By saying just how incredibly grateful I am for all of the first responders who are working around the clock, truly around the clock, to make sure that our community is safe. These are some of the finest and bravest folks in our city and our entire region, working very, very hard here today and last night. We are also seeing just tremendous involvement from community organizations taking on a lot of work to support the efforts here. The American Red Cross, of course, has set up 3 shelters in the city to help all people who've been displaced. The Urban League is helping collect donations of food, water, and materials. The United Way is connecting people to resources. By the way, we can visit 211helps.org if you want to learn more, or you can sign up to volunteer at stlvolunteer.org/disaster. Aaron, who you'll hear from, is working incredibly hard. The power is down still across. You can see the power lines are just down across North St. Louis. They've been hit very, very, very hard, but I'm confident we're going to be getting customers back online here. And there are just so many community organizations. I want to shout out the city employees who have been working around the clock, who are still working for us, are doing a tremendous job. We just went out and made sure that everybody got dinner. These folks are working their tails off, truly coming to the mat, coming to the table, working so incredibly hard. Thank you. The loss of life, while this is truly devastating, we understand we've got a few more pieces of information here. While we don't have a tremendous amount of details, we want to make sure family members are contacted. We are understanding that the fatalities are ranging from about 32 to 82. We don't have confirmations on everyone right now, but that is what we're looking at. Since I last saw you, we have been spending a lot of time, obviously, in the community, but also at Emergency Operations Center at Police Headquarters, organizing the operational response from all the city departments, but also there are just a tremendous amount of partners in the private sector that are coming to the table. We're working on getting everybody organized so we can better organize the distribution of resources, including tarps, board ups, food, etc. We're going to keep working into the night until we get all this organized and make sure that we have everything that we could possibly have on the table to help our community. I encourage everyone in our community that's reaching out to go to those sites I mentioned earlier, and just thank the folks out. I mean, the heartwarming nature of what is happening is just truly incredible. Thank you all, and I just can't say enough about the response here. Truly amazing. Congressman, I think the fire chief, you want to give an update?
Okay. Good afternoon. We're in the process of finishing up on our last sweep of the area. We have an area a little bit north of us that we're doing one more grid search on. The fire department in the city of St. Louis has spent the day sweeping and rolling down and inspecting every street in this city. That's 62 square miles. We've made every street. We're making one more last search of an area a little bit north of us. Right now, the status quo has kind of remained the same as far as injuries and fatalities. So you're going to see the trucks out all night. Give them room. They've been working all day. So right now, we're holding our own. We should finish this entire operation as far as the sweep of all homes, streets, especially the districts that are surrounding us, by about 7 o'clock tonight.
The instant relief for snorers in 2025.
Thank you, Chief. We're going to continue to work with the fire department and the rescue teams, continue to go through places. We'll keep the security on the area as they continue to search the homes and see if there's anybody that is still might be trapped in it. They continue to do some brave work in some of these facilities, impactful buildings that might have some issues going on. So they got to do it very slowly. We'll be out there to make sure we assist in any way we can. What we're doing in policing, We already mobilized everybody from the department. We're going to continue to do 12-hour tours to make sure we can maximize our coverage out there. And what we do is even going into the night, we will be out there with our lights doing grids, where we go through all the neighborhoods. And then we're not forgetting about the rest of the city, because there's things that go on throughout the city that were impacted, and there's also calls for service. So we're going to make sure both places are taken care of. And we also know that there's power outages outside of this area, and we got to make sure we can keep everybody safe and make sure that nobody's taking advantage of this situation. And so far, it's been very, very minimal. And I thank the community for coming forward to make sure we keep our city safe, come together, and make sure that we get through this in the most positive way. Of the victims, 5 of the victims that have died, the mayor hit on them. Those age ranges from 30 opens to 82 years old. Please be patient with us. We've identified 3 of them, but we're identifying all of them, and we have to make sure we make the notification to next of kin. So with that, we're out there. We're going to continue to be out there. We're going to continue. And then last thing, Fire Chief hit on it. We need people. We have a curfew in place from 9 o'clock to 6 a.m. That is for our safety, your safety, to make sure we can continue to get the job done. And that's up here in the 5th and 6th district. And that's citywide. But you got to let us do our job. It's still dangerous out there. And that's why we want to make sure that we can clean up, make sure we can make it safe. But please, that'll keep people out of our way, and especially at night, we can keep a good eye to keep everyone safe. So with that, I'm going to introduce our Congressman, Wesley Bell. Congressman.
As a man of faith, I would be remiss if I didn't send my most deep and heartfelt prayers to the victims of this devastating storm, tornado, particularly that hit so hard, particularly in the north side, North St. Louis, and it's just terrible, and it's tragic. And I have to also acknowledge the first responders and our utility workers who are here as well for working round the clock. And you know, in my former job, I had to deal with these kind of tragedies, and obviously, you know, the fates have decided that we have another situation and tragedy that we have to deal with. And what I do believe is that faith without works is dead, and I can tell you that on the local level, with our mayor and alderpersons, on the state level, speaking with our governor and other folks, and on the federal level, everyone is working together to bring the resources to bear to address the needs as we continue to assess them. And so we got to give folks time to get that done. And I can tell you right now, everyone who's spoken in all the departments, and from the mayor's office to the fire department to the police departments, but all city workers are working round the clock to do just that. And there are a couple things that I do want to point out, in that from the federal side, we're working with the Missouri delegation and the governor to ensure that a request is sent to the president to declare this a major disaster. A disaster declaration will allow us to utilize federal funds through agencies like FEMA to help rebuild our region. And we need to make sure that we find every dollar from every grant, from every federal program, from every state program, and every couch cushion to bring to bear to help this region. And that's exactly what we intend to do. For those in need of shelter, you can text the word shelter and your zip code to 43362 for real-time updates on nearby shelter locations. Shelters have been set up at the recreational centers located at 1410 South Tucker Boulevard and at Friendly Temple. Additionally, myself and my office have worked with Verizon to make mobile charging stations with Wi-Fi available starting tomorrow at the O'Fallon YMCA at 4343 West Florissant Avenue. Also, Verizon, I'm happy to announce, is making a $10,000 donation to the Red Cross. And that's just exemplifies what we've seen all over this region. From
editing your podcast on Riverside is a no-brainer, and I want to show you why. Your podcast
corporations, but just regular folks. You see people cooking out and donating food and donations and resources, and that's what makes St. Louis St. Louis. And so last, if you're looking for a way to help, you can donate to the United Way of Greater St. Louis or sign up to volunteer with the Red Cross or local food banks. And please don't hesitate to call our office if there's things that you need. If we can't help you, we'll direct you to you can. And our office number is 314-955-9980. And so I'm gonna bring up Mr. Bouger with Amarin so they can talk about what they're doing, the tremendous work that they're doing. So.
Good evening. My name is Tommy Bouget of Amarin, Missouri. So I would like to start off by Amarin would like to express their appreciation of the coordination and partnership with St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and state and federal officials. Basically just the assistance they offer as we work safely to restore our customers after this devastating storm that impacted all our customers in several communities. As of today, we have restored, as of 5 p.m., we have restored 70,000 customers. Currently, we have 1,200 resources engaged in restoration efforts. We do have more coming. We do have, as of now, 66,000 customers still remain without power, but we are working hard to get our customers back on. I would also say that we will continue to bring in more resources as the days come, but this will be a multi-day storm as we continue the efforts. We will have some complicated repairs as we go. As you've seen the devastation around this community, there's a lot of vegetation, there's a lot of property destruction. With that being said, that limits the access to our system. We do understand how critical electric service is to our customers, but we will ask for their patience as we continue to restore efforts on restoring power. I will hand it over to the Red Cross. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucretia Cox, and I'm the Executive Director of the American Red Cross Greater St. Louis Chapter. And the American Red Cross is here to meet the immediate needs of the residents of the city of St. Louis. And so, as mentioned before, we have opened up 3 area shelters. I will say that the shelter at Grace United Methodist Church is at full capacity. So we are redirecting everyone else to 12th and Park Recreation Center and also to Friendly Temple. If needed, we will definitely open up additional shelters on the way that we've been communicating with. And so we appreciate everyone who's given us information and sent people over. We're taking care of, food, any additional resources, and we'd like to thank our partners who have come out, like Schnucks and other faith-based organizations, to help us with food. They're doing a great job. I also like to say that in the next coming days, we will be sending out teams to look at the needs and the damages on properties, and so that will take some time, but we also want to make sure that any properties that are eligible for financial aid, we are looking into that, and we will be doing so. And the last thing that I definitely want to mention is that if you know of anyone who needs immediate assistance, we are encouraging individuals to call our 1-800 number. So they can reach out to 1-800-RED-CROSS, and then we can connect them with other resources that are in the community. And we're thankful for our partners. And now I will pass it over to James Park, who is also a partner advisor as well.
Good evening. I want to first give thanks to God, who is clearly sending us a message right now. Then I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Congressman Wesley Bell, the police chief and the fire chief for their leadership. Then we want to give our heartfelt condolences to the families who have lost loved ones. Then I want to thank St. Louis for really stepping up right now. The Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis, we have set up a disaster relief site at our headquarters located at 1408 North Kings Highway. We started phase 1, which is direct resident engagement where we touched over 250 families today, going door to door, getting an assessment of those who needed food, those who need water, and we distributed food to over 75 families today. We will begin that same process tomorrow, and we will do that process every day until this emergency subsides. Phase 2 is we're working with the Regional Business Council, Clayco Construction, Keeley Construction, and several other major construction companies from throughout the region. They will be doing a walkthrough tomorrow to get an assessment of what kind of heavy equipment is going to be needed to remove brush and to tear down vacant and abandoned structures. We will start in this immediate area and we will work our way out. The plan is to pull out all of the debris, pull out all of the bricks and make large stacks, then come back and over the next several days haul it out and then do stack and brick removal in that fashion and work our way out. We are very much committed to this. All of the Division of Public Safety's programming has been paused so that we can give our full attention to this relief effort. Thank you very much. Now we have Gentry Trotter from Heat Up Cool Down St. Louis.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very concerned. You're probably thinking, well, there's no electric, but the need is always great. And right now, what we're going to be doing with the Urban League is taking our ARPA federal funds, because they have deadlines to them, and we're going to reach out to these families as fast as we can to help them immediately, which will take the pressure off of them so they don't have to worry about a utility bill for a while. We also are going to ask Ameren, Missouri, and Spire to consider a moratorium for 4 months. We did this a couple of years ago during the flood and it worked out well. They were very cooperative. So we're appealing to them, and we're also asking the public. We're independent from United Way and Red Cross. We've been doing this for 25 years, strictly utility assistance. You can donate online at Cool Down St. Louis or Heat Up St. Louis, or you can go, thank goodness, the Commerce Bank is letting us accept donations because of this at any bank, Commerce Bank in Missouri and Illinois, and those funds will go 100%, as you all know, goes to helping people with service. So we're hoping this works out for all of us. All you have to do is tell them to go to heatupstlouis.org or cool down or call 241-0001, and we will confirm that they're impacted clients. We have to make sure of that when we're giving out these funds. Thank you.
So just like we did in the morning update, we'll open it up to some questions, but let's be orderly.
If I could, Mayor, could you tell us what's the biggest challenge right now?
The biggest challenge is, I would say, getting everyone organized. You know, there are so many people and so many organizations that want to help, centralizing that. So many people want to come out, but as the chief mentioned, it's dangerous. We have down power lines. You know, having regular folks just come in and try to plug in has been a difficult challenge. But as we move through the next few days, we're hoping to better organize that process so regular citizens can play an important role in helping do the cleanup.
And Mayor Spencer, you said that this is one of the worst storms in the city's history. Anything that you want to change moving forward in coming years? How do you think it went in terms of prep, prevention?
I have to say that the level of participation, the response has been phenomenal. While there's ways we can improve, and there certainly are challenges, this is not a type of storm that we are used to seeing on a daily basis, but the response has been unbelievable. I am so proud of our city workers. I'm so proud of our first responders. I'm so proud to be part of a network of community organizations that has just absolutely come to the table. Regular citizens, the stories we heard in the community yesterday and today of folks helping pull people out of rubble, saving people, in the Harlem Tap Room. Those stories are incredible. There are tremendous citizens amongst us who are doing phenomenal work.
I'm a concerned citizen, and I've been on block to block. My question is, how can we get dumpsters on each block to be able to get the debris?
Citizen, regular citizen over there. I hear you. That is a big concern. We have been hauling out enormously large dumpsters full of tree debris, so we are prioritizing making sure that we're clearing off the roadways first. We've also got our refuse and parks department making sure that the alleys have access so we don't see trash pile up from households. We are working on that, and that will be phase 2 once we get the roads and the alleyways cleared. But that's important to us, and it's already on our radar. Thank you.
On the blocks?
Yes.
Block to block?
We're working on that, citizen, and we will get back to you.
Clarification on what happened with the sirens. There have been some mixed responses about people hearing them, not hearing them.
Sure. Yeah. No, this is a serious issue. We're taking it seriously. We are looking at our internal protocols, looking to see what happened, what might not have happened. We are continuing to do an evaluation, but that is an important process here. We're focused right now on the response and making sure that we are really addressing human safety at this point, but that is absolutely on our radar to be addressing, and we'll have answers for you on that soon.
2 more questions.
I'd like to hear how Ameren is prioritizing restoring power versus fixing down power lines, especially after we have.
You wouldn't settle for Bateman when there's Batman?
Thank you for that question. So, number one, how we prioritize. First, we have our critical customers, meaning hospitals, nursing homes, fire stations, police stations also. Then when we get to the customers, what we do is we try to find the most customers that we can store the quickest, meaning we might have one device outage, one device that's causing 2,000 outages. So, and we might have another device that may be causing only 2 outages. Well, it'd be faster for us to restore those customers who are impacted from that one device that's causing 2,000 outages. So we prioritize the most outages and we just work them down.
One more question.
I hope so, but as the congressman pointed out, there are some federal designations, declarations that have to take place. The city of St. Louis declared an emergency, state of emergency yesterday. We worked to get that done right away. We've been communicating with the state and the feds on this. That's not something that we can do unilaterally, but we are hoping that that does play a role.
With that,
yeah, absolutely. That we will get the funding considering the federal cuts have been made.
Yeah, so what I can say is that this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. Democrats and Republicans are all united. We've spoken with the governor. I've spoken with other folks in the Missouri delegation, and everyone is on board to address this issue. But I do want to caution everyone, this is not going to be an overnight fix. If you drive around just in this neighborhood, in this area, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. I can tell you that on the local level, behind the mayor's leadership and the board of aldermen and alderwomen, on the state level, as well as the federal level, and as you've heard of different, just regular citizens, everyone is invested and working together, and that's what you can expect to see. And we're going to try to every single resource that we can bring to bear. I don't care where it is. We're gonna try to bring it home.
Awesome. Well, as we wrap up, I just want to please pass along to everyone that the City of St. Louis, the police department, along with the emergency management, we will continue to push updates out throughout the night as needed on social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, and then also notify STL for any
The tree don't look that big, do it? I'm trying to get to the next pick. Don't let me. I don't know what I'm doing. Like street post was gone. Wait a minute, let me turn this off. Yeah, the street signs was gone. The stop sign I barely holding on. Let's say how the houses just in Rebel. And that was probably even before they started the demolition. Sad. It's my childhood home right here. Seems like it's still standing, but parts of the wall on the side came out. Big tree in the front yard been uprooted. And the storm didn't show no mercy. No mercy whatsoever. Like if you was in the way of it, totally took all that off. The whole roof gone. Wonder did the shape of those roofs help save it? Smart. 4528 Labadee right there. This place will never be the same again. Tell her. Man, wipe these houses out. That one right there. Completely gone. And I had to take flight, see what was really going on down here. It's still nothing like being out there in the midst of it. Because, I don't know. It's a different feel. What's that? Then you can go a few blocks over. You can't tell. You know, then go on the other side of Natural Bridge. Like, I wonder, did they have any extended damage? But you can't really assume just because this area got hit that they got hit too. So, like I say, it seemed like this thing was hopping and skipping around. I guess my Wi-Fi tripping, y'all. But yeah, that's what it was. That's what it's gonna be, y'all. Uh, the city need help. The city's in dire need. The city pulling together. They banding together, trying to help each other as much as they can. But you know that's only gonna go so far because y'all seen the damage. You see the damage yourself. So, with that being said, let me get that bigger. There we go. But yeah, you see all that damage, man. Like, it's hard to, you can't even go get help in an extreme time like this from your next door neighbor because your next door neighbor going through the same thing. Like, you all in the same boat. St. Louis City is at a state of emergency, in dire need of help from FEMA right now. And I don't think I need to tell nobody we need boots on the streets. Yeah, these two houses right there with those where they roofs, the roof is shaped. I wonder did that help shape? Say they roof, or did the wind just jump on over it? Yeah, this devastating. Like this is gonna take a while. Like this ain't no overnight task right here. This year is a rebuilding because these are a lot of structures that old structures that had been here for a while now. We talking decades. Now that they've been uh, reduced to rebel, yeah, we gotta rebuild. We gotta rebuild. That's a must. Got all that damage, man. Nobody have a roof for real. Yeah, want to keep on pausing at the same spot. So, check this out, squad. Appreciate you rocking with me over here at Fly High Productions. I am Mr. Follow Up, and it's been an update on the tornado that hit St. Louis here. Uh, and I'm gonna follow up on this, and so make sure you hit your notification bell next time I drop a video or go live, so you'll be one of the first to know. And if you haven't subscribed already, go subscribe. Hit the like button while you're at it. Uh, until next time, squad up.